Today I'm talking about a subject that's really important to me. It's my own healing journey with an illness called endometriosis. And if you're not familiar with it, it's an immune hormonal disease in which the cells and tissues that are usually found inside the uterus get outside of it. However, when a woman's brain tells her body it's time to have her period, these cells and tissues break and bleed regardless of where they are in her body. So if you have them outside of your uterus, it can't be flushed out of the body, so you end up with all these problems as a result. I mean, I'm sure you can imagine. You basically have internal bleeding for a week out of the month, every month. It's excruciatingly painful to the point where you can take like a million Motrins and or the highest like prescription, any painkiller you can find, and it doesn't even do anything. So it took me, for myself, it took almost 5 years for me to get diagnosed because the medical community thought I was too young to have this illness. They just kept telling me I was crazy and there's no way I could be sick. So I finally, after I got diagnosed, I was so sick. I was sick the whole month. I couldn't really walk anymore. I was basically as close to death as you can come without actually dying, and I was like, if I don't find a cure for this, I'm going to die. Like, it's either going to turn into cancer, which there is a huge link between endometriosis and a variety of cancers, especially those like breast cancer or uterine cancer, ovarian cancer. It usually turns into cancer in the area of the body it's in. So if a woman has endometriosis in a place like her brain or her lungs, it will usually go, if it turns into cancer, it usually turn into then like lung cancer or brain cancer. And yes, it has been found in the brain and basically all sorts of places in the body where it's not supposed to be. So by the time I was diagnosed, I was so sick. I was like, you know what, if I don't find a cure on my own, I'm probably gonna die, because there was no one in Western medicine who would help me. No one was even nice to me. And I was really left all on my own. So I started just doing a massive amount of research. I read anything I could find about people who have healed themselves of all these supposedly incurable illnesses. And it led me to the holistic community. And I went on this really intense healing journey with a lot of acupuncture, as well as herbs and Reiki, and I changed, a lot of stuff in my life. And the first month I went to my acupuncturist, it was the first time in my entire life the illness had not gotten worse. It had finally stabilized. And then from there, every single month it started to slowly improve. And so I just kept going, and it's been about 7 years since I was diagnosed, and I feel really confident in saying I feel like at least I'm 99% free of endometriosis. I mean, I was in such an excruciating amount of pain every month. As you can imagine, if you have internal bleeding, it's like the one time in our society that internal bleeding is not taken seriously, and it's because it affects women, and Western medicine has like all these men, and it's mostly run by men, and they think women are just crazy, so they don't even help us, and it's just really bad. But through my own healing journey, I learned so much, and I learned that you can absolutely heal from this illness regardless of what Western medicine or doctors tell you, and that there are things out there that can work, but you might just have to find your own cure for yourself like I did. And through my process, I wrote a memoir about my experiences, and it's currently in its final stages. It's definitely it's not like a how-to guide how to heal endometriosis. It's more just talking about my own journey, which I hope inspires other women who have this illness to really find their own cures for it. Because if we keep handing our power over to Western medicine, and Western medicine is telling us you can't ever get better, you're just gonna be sick your whole life, and you'll never have children, and you're gonna get cancer, and there's just something you can do about it, it's chronic, incurable, so just deal with it. It's like if we're going to hand our power over to people who tell us that, as opposed to finding people who have a different perspective and who say, you know what, um, you can get better from this. I can help you. I'll do everything in my power to help you and support you and help your body learn how to heal from this. I mean, one path is going to lead us to just being sicker and probably dying. The other path leads to health, happiness, and most importantly, hope, because you can always get better. And my whole belief is if my body was able to create this illness, I'm sure it can also uncreate it, right? And so through my own journey, I met so many amazing, wonderful healers who were always really positive, which I liked, because even if you're sick, they can still be really positive about your situation and just come from a place of hope, even if it seems hopeless. And I like being around that type of people who think like that, as opposed to just saying, okay, that's just how it is and you just have to accept it. Like, that doesn't work for me. So I, let's see. And the number one thing I think I learned from my journey is, well, there's two things. First, a lot of women who have endometriosis also have an allergy to wheat. So if you have this illness, I would suggest looking into that and possibly cutting wheat out of your diet, as well as there's books they have a specific diet for women with endometriosis, and I would recommend looking into that as well. And the other thing I learned from this is that you should definitely look into your sanitary products, because most tampons contain, or like all the mainstream products contain, a lot of chemicals and toxins, and the tampons contain dioxins. And endometriosis, they think there could be a bunch of different reasons that causes it, but one of the big ones is overexposure to dioxins. And this is something that, we get dioxins in our body through our food, through air pollution, through a lot of different ways, but one way is also through tampons. And there are organic cotton tampons that you can use that don't contain dioxins, but you have to actually go out and look for those products, because the mainstream ones are, I don't know if there's any mainstream one that is healthy. From what I've learned, it sounds like all of them contain dioxins as well as a bunch of other stuff. And by them putting dioxins in it, I was reading that it causes women to bleed more, so then it means they need to buy more of the products than you would if you don't have ones that contain all of these chemicals, so that means they'll make more money. That's one thing I was reading about, and so I would look into that. And I would also find healers who work with women who have this illness, who can help you heal from it. And I don't know, there's so much though information regarding endometriosis, and there's a lot of misinformation out there, especially with doctors who aren't very educated about it. And I think it's really hard I don't see how a male doctor could ever help a woman heal from something like endometriosis, which only affects women, and it's so specific and unique to our bodies. Like, they don't have periods, so how would they even know how to help a woman heal? I think it's really strange. But my whole journey, I did it all on my own through natural stuff. I didn't do the surgery. I refused to take Lupron, which they tried to put me on, because I learned about all the side effects. And I would just say, find what works for you and what makes you feel the best, and what's going to lead to a long-term solution, as opposed to just, trying something that might temporarily work, but it's not going to heal the whole illness. And in order to heal everything, the belief in holistic medicine stuff is you have to get to the root of the problem. Like, why were you sick to begin with, and really start healing there. So I don't know. I just wanted to let women know that if you have this illness, you can get better, and there's definitely people out there who can help you. So look into that, and when I publish my book, I will let everyone know. So hopefully my own journey will inspire you to go on your own healing journey and to be healthy and happy and whole like you deserve to be. Okay. Hopefully